So is Google's AI actually ready to be your digital assistant? You know, the one that handles all the boring stuff for you. That's the big question we're digging into today.
You know that feeling, right? You're just clicking and clicking through endless web pages, filling out these same tedious forms over and over again. It's the kind of mind-numbing stuff that just sucks the life out of your day.
But what if you could just hand all of that off? That's the big promise of this new wave of tech. AI agents that can literally take over your browser and do all that grunt work for you.
Okay, so what is an AI agent, really? Well, think of it like this. It's a smart program that you can give a goal to. You could say, hey, find me a good power plan, and it'll just go. It'll start clicking, typing, and jumping between websites all on its own to get the job done.
Now that sounds absolutely incredible in theory, doesn't it? But can you actually trust a robot to handle all your online tasks without, completely messing things up? That is the million-dollar question we're trying to answer today.
And to get to the bottom of it, we're going to break down this amazing real-world test from Technica. They took Google's new auto browser agent and really put it through its paces with some tough challenges. So let's see how it held up.
All right, first test. Something that seems pretty simple on the surface. Can the AI play a game? I mean, a popular web game. This is a fantastic way to see if it can actually understand rules and, deal with a website that's constantly changing.
So the setup was super simple. The prompt was crystal clear. Go to the 2048 website and play the game until you run out of moves. Sounds easy enough for a person, right? But for an AI, well, let's just see the score.
Whoa, an 8 out of 10. Okay, that's a pretty strong start. Not perfect, for sure, but definitely competent. But, the number doesn't tell you everything. We got to break down what actually went right and what went wrong.
Okay, so the good news is the agent totally understood the rules of the game and honestly played pretty well. The bad news? For some reason, it couldn't use the arrow keys, which is weird. It also got a little too literal with the prompt. When it said run out of moves, the AI just stopped the second it got stuck on one turn, instead of realizing the whole game wasn't over. Still, not bad. A solid performance.
But after that promising start, things took a turn. A big turn. We hit a massive wall on the very next test. And this one was supposed to be easy because it involved something you'd think a Google AI would be amazing at, handling Google's own products.
The task? Scan through a Gmail account, pull out all the PR contacts, and neatly organize everything into a Google Sheet. I mean, come on, this should be an absolute home run for an AI built by Google, right?
Yeah, not so much. To quote Technica directly, auto browse flopped hard here. This is really where that shiny promise of a helpful AI assistant just completely shattered.
It got a 1 out of 10. A 1. I mean, that's not just a failure, that's a full-blown catastrophe. So, what on earth happened?
Well, instead of finding the dozens and dozens of contacts it was supposed to, it found 2. Just 2. And it gets worse. It couldn't even enter the data for those 2 contacts correctly. It kept overwriting fields and just turned the spreadsheet into total gibberish. A complete and utter failure, especially since this was all happening inside Google's own universe.
Okay, but here's the crazy part. Just when you're about to write this thing off as a total disaster, it goes and does something perfectly. And this is where the story gets really, really interesting, because the inconsistency is just mind-boggling.
A perfect score, a 10 out of 10. And get this, it wasn't for some simple task. It was for something genuinely complex, like finding the absolute best electricity plan on one of those super confusing government websites. And this is where you really see the potential shine. The agent just did it. It flawlessly entered all the user's information, it navigated all the annoying drop-down menus, it applied a bunch of different filters, sorted all the results by price, and bam, it delivered the exact right document. No help needed, no having to ask it again, just perfect execution of a task that would drive most of us crazy.
So let's recap. We've seen a brilliant, perfect success. We've seen a spectacular, embarrassing failure. And we've seen a few, kind of okay attempts in between. So what does this all mean when you put it together? Let's take a look at the final report card.
And yeah, the scores are just all over the map. You've got that perfect 10 for the power plan, but then that dismal 1 for scanning emails. And everything else, like making a fan website or a playlist, is kind of stuck in the middle. Like, it can do it, but it definitely needs a human to step in and help out.
When you average everything out, Google's auto browse gets about a 6.5 out of 10.
I guess that's technically a passing grade, but let's be real. It's far from the reliable A+ student you'd want managing your digital life. The potential is clearly there, but the consistency, it's just not.
And this quote from the Ars Technica piece just nails it. Right now, using this AI isn't really automation. It's more like babysitting an easily distracted robot. You basically have to watch it every second.
So what's the bottom line here? The tech is just not ready for prime time. Not even close. You have to constantly supervise it. You have to keep giving it new prompts to keep it on track. It can't just, monitor a page for changes over time. And the biggest irony of all, it struggles the most with Google's own products like Gmail and Google Sheets.
And all this brings us to the final question, really. This technology is obviously powerful, there's no doubt about that, but it's also wildly unpredictable. One minute it's saving you a ton of time, and the next it's making an even bigger mess for you to clean up. So, after seeing all this, what would it take for you to feel comfortable handing over the keys to your browser?